Let's talk about XRP now. Let the XRP army know you're here. Have a nice Wednesday. It's after midnight here, no matter where you are in the world. No matter where you are in the world, it's very late here in North America. But yeah, no days off, giving you these messages that you love. We're once again seeing a lot of good momentum when we look at everything. Let's hope this keeps up. Bitcoin is still not where we want it to be. Where you want to see Bitcoin. Even so, there is still a lot of energy in the altcoin market. The fact that it's important to pull down should tell you that it really is. We'll talk more about that later, though, but XRP is up 3.4% in the last 24 hours. The last hour has seen a growth of about 0.4%. It's not crazy, but it is something, of course. We need to remember that. There is still no change in the price of XRP around $3. We know how important that is. And we're up 3% in Bitcoin's value compared to the dollar, which is now $179.3 billion. And the 24-hour trade volume is now $6.3 billion. Just a quick note to say that nothing on this channel is meant to be taken as financial advice. As with any investment, you should always do your own study before putting money into crypto. That's why we want to thank Crypto Insight UK. It's the same story for XRP. He says, the end of the day was good. Even though the price has gone down since the RSI turned strong, the structure has not changed. However, I'd like to see more price action and a second day of falling prices before I can say for sure that it's time to go. There is a trend, but each analyst sees it in their own unique way. If you've been paying attention, you know that. I agree with what he says here. We haven't seen any change. New information about Ripple versus second the building itself. That's what I've been stressing on my show. It's also pretty easy. It's not hard to understand thanks to the dominant score every day. We talk about this. That is the exact reason why you are seeing Bitcoin right now. Let's restart it live right now. Bitcoin is worth $111,000 right now, but that's not even close to where we want it to be. After all this time, the price of XRP has stayed around $3 price level. A lot of coins look like they're in love. A lot of people are pumping, like Solana, Cardano, Link, and so on. Think about what will happen when Bitcoin hits 115 in all-time highs. Think about what you think will happen to the altcoin market if things are going so well right now. What happens when Bitcoin rises back above its all-time highs? If we stay here, the control could fall even further. This could mean that big things are going to happen. There is an upside for altcoins. And I'm assuming that based on what we're seeing right now, what we've been talking about over and over again is now happening. Time is, without a doubt, the most important thing that will determine what happens as of right now. That's how I'm thinking about and understanding this. In any case, check this out. To increase its BTC stock, Meta Planet will sell 130 billion yuan worth of shares. Talk about the demand being higher than the supply. This is just one case that we knew about. Also, check out the shout out to my fans in the UK. I know that a lot of my readers live in the UK. I love the UK. I have family there. And Cryptox also has families there, a big part of you. So, shout out to you guys. Leave a comment telling me where you're from in the UK and which soccer team you cheer for. I know that in North America we call it soccer, but in the UK they call it football. Tell me what team you guys cheer for in the comments. Of course, you should show that you're there for the UK. Anyway, enough with the rant. 1 in 4 British adults are willing to add cryptocurrency to their retirement savings. Which coin would you pick to add? And speaking of retirement, remember the 401k? Trump might let people use their 401 kiloseconds to invest in crypto assets for their retirement. We can see that this asset class is here to stay because of the changes that are happening in the UK. Other countries, and maybe even Canada, there is a lot of interest, especially among younger people. Even older people want to learn more about crypto, and now that regulators have given the go-ahead and laws are being put in place, it's easier for investors to feel comfortable getting into these assets. What do you think about that? Also, on August 26th, about 88.1 million Bitcoin and 455 million Ethereum were bought. And then they were sold in a flash 2 or 3 days later, which I think was a clear sign of manipulation in the banking system. But here it is, things pretty much getting back to normal, And most people will not care about this, but not on this station. But look at the shout out to our friend, Smoke Bank of International Settlements, which stresses how important it is to have a third-party currency that has enough liquidity for cross-border payments to work well. This fits nicely with XRP's role in Ripple's model as a neutral and independent bridge asset. That gets rid of the need for fragment correspondent banking. It looks like the BIS is laying out the exact problem that XRP was made to fix. Also, there are more and more people who are starting to understand what this project was really meant to do from the start. In the beginning, there will be people who are skeptical about the idea and the technology. You already know that time has passed. It's been a while. 13 years have passed. It has really shown what it can do. Right now, it seems like everyone is talking about blockchain. The things we're going to talk about more in a moment are technology and real-world assets. So, XRP is now a shout-out to Nate. At the moment, XRP is the third most valuable cryptocurrency by market cap, worth about $180 billion more than BlackRock. Interesting because it seems like the most hated or disparaged cryptocurrency asset. And that's kind of true. But when the price of XRP starts to retesting all-time highs, that's when people start acting like crazy moonbats. And I'll never understand why the price of XRP is about to break through to an all-time high. We're in the 23.66 fib zone. Prices have been staying in this band for more than a month. We've been holding within the 23.6% for more than a month, which is crazy to think about. Still, folks can see that XRP isn't changing. It's just completely crazy. But you know, people who have been holding on to XRP for a long time don't think that way because, well, you have to see the bigger picture. There won't be any changes overnight. I know we all want things right away, but that's not how things work. I think meme coins has really messed up the way people think. Now, you know, those meme coins, and I also speak for ourselves. I'm going to tell you the truth. You already know that I'll keep it secret, but I really believe that meme coins have changed the way people think about crypto in general, or even trading. At least that's how I feel since I started using them. I've made a lot of, crazy gains. I'm not going to lie. I have, however, lost a lot of money. But what I'm trying to say is that when you first get into the meme coin market and make your first big gain or a few big trades, that can make you focus on the meme coin market instead of projects that are actually building and have strong fundamentals. This is where variety comes in, right? I know what tweets P and LS look like. Of course, they are known as X now if you want to follow me on X. Haven't already done that. We've seen those P and LS and YouTube movies where people talk about, oh, I made that. You already know why XRP is important for global payments. But they're not going to show you their losses. Your boy Cryptox will tell you that there are just as many losses as wins. Also, if you like meme coins, I would highly advise you to diversify your portfolio. If you're new to the space right now, I would say the same thing. It's not enough to just use meme coins. Don't just base your choice on usefulness, of course. Do your pay attention, do your study. And you know, get a taste of everything. Okay, but know that meme coins are very, very risky. The basics aren't strong, and it's not useful in the end. Well, it's mostly driven by talk. So, if you know what you're doing, you should think of the money you spend in crypto as something you can just wave goodbye to. Without a doubt, it's great if it makes money just for meme coins. Though I've always used this as an example when I talk about meme coins. You've done your homework. You know how meme coins work, and you have the urge to put about $100. Just let me show you what I mean.